The city that drowned twice. Deep beneath the Black Sea, where sunlight has not reached in over 7,000 years, lie the ruins of a world and intact. Stone tools rest where they were dropped, and most haunting of all, the remnants of human settlements remain frozen in time, abandoned in a disaster so catastrophic it may have inspired humanity's oldest and most enduring myth, the Great Flood. This is the story of Doggerland, the Black Sea Deluge, and the underwater ghost towns that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about the birth of civilization. For most of history, we believe that civilization began in Mesopotamia around 3500 BC, that before the Sumerians built their cities, humans were simple hunter-gatherers living in scattered tribes. But what if we were wrong? What if thriving communities existed thousands of years earlier, only to be wiped from existence by a flood so massive it left nothing but legends behind? Our story begins at the end of the last ice age, around 9000 BC. At this time, the world looked radically different. Sea levels were nearly 400 feet lower than today. Vast areas of land that are now underwater were fertile plains, river valleys, and coastal territories where humans hunted, fished, and built their lives. Between Britain and mainland Europe stretched Doggerland, a massive landmass larger than the United Kingdom itself, crisscrossed with rivers and teeming with game. Thousands of people called it home. The Black Sea, meanwhile, was not a sea at all. It was a freshwater lake, sitting more than 500 feet below the level of the Mediterranean Sea, separated by a natural dam of land at what is now the Bosphorus Strait. Around its shores, communities thrived. They built settlements, they farmed early crops, they developed trade networks. And then, around 5600 BC, everything changed in a single apocalyptic moment. The dam broke. Marine geologists William Ryan and Walter Pittman first proposed what happened next in 1997, and their theory remains one of the most debated catastrophes in archaeology. As glaciers melted and sea levels rose worldwide, the Mediterranean began pressing against the land barrier at the Bosphorus. For years, perhaps decades, the pressure built, and then the Earth gave way. Imagine a waterfall 200 times the volume of Niagara Falls, thundering through the breach 24 hours a day for months. 10 cubic miles of seawater per day poured into the Black Sea basin. The water level rose 6 inches every single day, visible, relentless, unstoppable. Coastal settlements that had stood for generations were swallowed in weeks. Farmland vanished beneath the rising tide. Forests drowned, animals fled or perished, and people who lived there faced an impossible choice: abandon everything and run, or stay and drown. Within a year, an area the size of England was underwater. But Doggerland faced a different fate, one that unfolded over thousands of years, yet ended just as completely. As the Ice Age ended, sea levels rose slowly but steadily. The rivers of Doggerland widened into estuaries, the lowlands became marshes. Communities retreated inland, generation after generation, watching their world shrink around them. Archaeological evidence shows people adapted, building on higher ground, developing boats, focusing on fishing rather than hunting. But around 6200 BC, disaster struck from an unexpected direction. Off the coast of Norway, an underwater landslide of catastrophic proportions, the Storegga Slide, a massive tsunami across the North Sea. Waves up to 80 feet high crashed into what remained of Doggerland, devastating coastal settlements. Within decades, the last dry land disappeared beneath the waves, and an entire culture was erased from the surface world. For thousands of years, these drowned civilizations existed only in myth. Cultures around the Black Sea told stories of a great flood that destroyed the world. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of humanity's oldest written stories, describes a catastrophic deluge that forced a man to build a boat and save his family. The Bible tells of Noah's Ark. Greek, Roman, and Hindu traditions all contain flood myths remarkably similar in their details. Historians dismissed these as pure mythology until 1999, when Robert Ballard, the oceanographer who found the Titanic, made a startling discovery. Using underwater robots, his team found ancient shorelines 550 feet below the current surface of the Black Sea. They discovered beach sands, river deltas, and most significantly, wooden structures and stone tools in perfect preservation. The cold, oxygen-free depths created a time capsule. Radiocarbon dating confirmed what Ryan and Pittman had theorized. A massive flooding event around 5600 BC had transformed the Black Sea from a lake into the sea we know today. In Doggerland, similar discoveries emerged from the seafloor. Fishing trawlers began pulling up mammoth bones, ancient tools, and worked flints in their nets. In 2019, divers recovered a fragment of a Mesolithic deer bone with tool marks. Underwater mapping revealed valleys, hills, and what appear to be settlements beneath the North Sea. Each discovery adds another piece to the puzzle of this vanished world. But here's what makes this story truly profound. The survivors didn't just disappear, they scattered. Genetic and archaeological evidence suggests that refugees from the Black Sea flood migrated in all directions, carrying with them their knowledge, their stories, and possibly their agricultural practices. Some researchers believe this mass migration may have accelerated the spread of farming across Europe. The flood survivors merged with other populations, and their descendants may have helped build the civilizations we do remember. The early European farmers, the early societies of the Danube Valley, perhaps even the mysterious culture that built Stonehenge. The flood narrative they carried with them became encoded in human memory, passed down through countless generations until it emerged in the myths and religious texts we still read today. Yet questions continue to haunt researchers. How advanced were these drowned societies? Were they simple fishing villages, or did they possess knowledge and sophistication we've never credited them with? What technologies, what art, what stories were lost forever beneath the waves? And most importantly, how many other civilizations have vanished beneath the rising seas, leaving nothing but ghost stories and legends? Recent research suggests we may never know the full extent of what was lost. Climate scientists estimate that over 20 million square kilometers of land have been submerged since the last ice age, an area larger than Russia. Countless river valleys, coastal plains, and island chains now lie under hundreds of feet of water. Never be explored, most will never be found. Their stories will remain untold, their people forever anonymous. The drowned world beneath the Black Sea and the North Sea teaches us something uncomfortable about human civilization, that geography is not permanent, that the landscapes we build our lives upon can vanish, that rising waters show no mercy to human achievement, and that even when civilizations are destroyed, the echoes of their existence can ripple through time in unexpected ways. Today, as sea levels rise once again due to climate change, the ancient flood survivors whisper a warning across the millennia. From New York to Jakarta, sit in the same precarious position as the Black Sea settlements did 7,600 years ago. We live on borrowed time, on borrowed land, assuming the geography beneath our feet is permanent when history proves it is anything but. The question is not whether our coastal world will change. The question is whether we will listen to the lessons of the past, or whether future generations will tell stories of our drowned cities the same way we tell stories of theirs, as myths, as legends, as cautionary tales about the civilization that thought it was too advanced to fall. Somewhere beneath the waves, the ghosts of Doggerland and the Black Sea settlements rest in eternal darkness, waiting for the day when someone might finally hear their story. And perhaps, centuries from now, archaeologists will dive into the flooded ruins of our own cities, wondering how we could have known what was coming and done so little to prepare. The flood came before, the flood will come again. The only question is, what will we leave behind when the waters rise?